Why do you want to stand as a councillor?
I got involved with the Facebook campaign Save the Tilbury Ferry, and as the campaign went on, it became abundantly clear that only one person from the political aspect of it was actually standing up and being counted and saying things. That was Cole Morris, and he'd set up the petition, which was fantastic. It was picking up signatures and support, and Lorraine's site was really and truly catching on. So I thought, okay, let's see if we can get some other people involved that are there within the council to take on board this issue. So I emailed as many Conservative, Labour and other parties saying, look, we need your support. We need to hear that you're saying save the ferry, because it is part of the community. It needs to be saved. Now, I put a read receipt on those emails to see whether they were read, whether they were going to be read or not. Every one of the ones were read, but not one reply. Nobody came back to me. Now, I was a little bit surprised by that. So I muted the subject on Facebook saying, shall we have a situation where I stand as a councillor and get myself on the inside, and then I can start saying, let's save the Tilbury Ferry? And the response to that was quite overwhelming. I was quite taken aback. I thought, oh, what am I going to do here? I've got to now make a decision and stand by it. Anyway, decision was fairly easy, because people were saying, yeah, do it, go for it. So I did. That's why I've actually put myself into the foray, as it were.
So in many ways, in Parliament there have been single issue candidates that have stood forward and succeeded. Martin Bell, the journalist, stood in Tatton.
Yes.
There was a doctor down in Worcester who stood on saving a particular hospital.
Yeah.
So you're very much taking that model but using it in order to stand as a councillor.
Yeah, that's the best description of it, I suppose. Yeah, I see the ferry as an important issue in the Tilbury area, because it will impact on so many different people if it's taken away. We're looking at people that are employed in both Tilbury and Gravesend and the areas around, where if that ferry goes, they are going to lose money. They've got to completely rehash their whole day, where they've got to look at going the long way round. Because that's what it is. They're going to have to go down to the QE2 bridge, come across the bridge in their car, or if they're not fortunate to have a car, they've got to go into London and come out. How unfair is that? Because it's not right to take away something that is part of their livelihood. They rely on the boat. Now, if it's not there, we're going to have situations where people are visiting their friends, visiting family. I've spoken to people, like grandparents. I visit my grandchild, they're saying to me, how am I going to do that? I don't want to go all the way into London because I haven't got a car.
Haven't the councillors like Councillor Rock, the Tory councillors, Councillor Rockcliffe, Councillor Gladwell, got a point? And, why should the council, keep afloat a business, a private business that is unsustainable?
I can see some sense in if a business is failing, then yeah, okay, it's got to go to the wind. But this is not an issue here that I believe it's got to be a business one totally. You've got to look at the wider picture, and the wider picture is the community. The community have got a service here that is being provided to keep people in work, to help people to do their jobs. You've got to look at the subsidy side of it, and if it needs be, increase the subsidy. There is money being thrown at other issues which, to my mind, are outweighed by the ferry's situation. We need that ferry, not just for the money side of it. As I said, on the wider scheme of things, it's chicken feed. It really is chicken feed.
But 40,000 here, 60,000 there. This all mounts up, and there's going to be, after May the 7th, you get that May the 6th, you get the feeling it's going to be a hurricane for the public sector, and the council are responsible for batting down the hatches, aren't they?
Yeah, we at the moment we're looking at several months, maybe years, of cutting back, trimming the edges, and trying to find money where the money's gone. At the moment, everybody has got some kind of request in saying we need more money. Yes, there's going to be funding issues are going to be coming out of out of every issue, every avenue, and there are going to be people with their begging bowl. We shouldn't be in this situation. The politics of it are terrible. Money's been wasted wholesale. But the thing is, why punish people to force them to do something else that's going to cost them more money? We've got to look at not just the ferry, what's next, where else will funding be slashed, and you've got to consider what community impact this is going to have on people. You take away a service that people use that is part of their livelihood, then that has got to come to the top of the board. You've got to consider the community impact before you consider other things. If it's going to harm somebody's pocket, then it should be considered as being a priority. If it's going to harm a community, it should be considered as a priority. If it's a lesser fund, and there's going to be hundreds of them, I know there are. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Not too long ago, there was a voluntary set up in Grays where they had to fight tooth and nail to get their money secured. We shouldn't have to be going through these issues, but sadly, this is what the future holds. The next few months are going to be terrible. But I will, if I can get in to stand for the ferry, then no doubt other issues will come along, which will be on par with the importance of the ferry, and I will stand up for those issues as well.
So which party do you most closely resemble?